All right, so hey guys, this is me, 80s from Forward. So today, guys, we discuss about the Iran national team, and of course, I have a special friend of mine. The name is uh, Hokaj. So take it away, man.
What's up? Yeah, I'm here to talk about Iran and yeah, just expectations about Qatar 2022. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we're coincidentally we're actually both in the same group, which is kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Oh man, so I mean, what's your thoughts, man? I mean, this is an interesting group for Iran, would you say?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I would definitely say for Iran, from an Iranian perspective, my expectations have been dwindled because of the things that have been going on recently with the federation and team. But it's in my opinion, it's to be honest, it might be the group of death because if you're just going off FIFA rankings, like I think this has the highest average FIFA ranking out of all the groups. If you take all the groups, their ranking, and it's pretty close because seeing how England is playing right now, I actually think this group is up for grabs.
Yeah,
And I know it was just Nations League with what England was doing this past 2 to 3 weeks, but they were playing really badly.
yeah,
And they just look completely off the mark. So, in my opinion, it's not a foregone conclusion for this group that England will be first place, like how many English people think it will go.
yeah,
So,
and
yeah,
yeah, yeah. England is lucky the World Cup is not now because oh god, if there was now,
they would
they'd be
really be
screwed.
screwed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. What's your thoughts on the USA and Wales?
USA is tough because their last match was pretty bad, but also the conditions were very bad in El Salvador.
Yeah,
Um, I just think it's for both for all not England, but I'd say for I'd say USA and the Iranian fan base have high hopes to get through. But I think for both teams, I think the defense for USA, the defense kind of lets them down right now. But some of the youth defenders haven't progressed as much as their attackers like Joe Reyna, Pulisic, Aronson just got the move to the East, Timothy Weah. So they're kind of that's a pretty play in defensive attack for the U.S. But I think if everything goes right for them, I would even though I'm Team Iran, I would expect the USA should to go through to the knockout.
yeah, yeah, and then Wales is. I feel like Wales is kind of like the surprise card.
Yeah, because they were playing pretty good in the Nations League this past 2 weeks. They were putting good performances, but it's hard to gauge like off Nations League because I know like a lot of the players, at least from what I saw, like they didn't really seem like like they're playing for their nations, but like it's not like they're not really going for it. I don't. So it was kind of hard to gauge if like Wales was good or not. They were playing good though, so
Yeah,
definitely I thought Wales would be like wouldn't have to worry about Wales, but seeing what they are doing right now, that's why I think like this group is really it's a really dicey group. It's not straightforward.
yeah. You have to give them massive credit for beating Ukraine at home, and obviously, they had a lot because Ukraine was really good in the game. Ukraine was excellent in
Yeah.
the game.
And, their goalie, crap, what's Wales' goalie?
Yeah, Hennessy, he was really good.
Hennessy, yeah. I mean, without him, it would be Ukraine in this group, which probably would have been tougher because Ukraine was the far, obviously it's about winning, but anyone who watched that game knows that Ukraine was the better team.
Oh yeah,
They
Ukraine
were
and
making a mistake.
yeah, and there's another player from Wales we're forgetting who's like Gareth Bale,
Yeah,
man. Oh
yeah,
man, that guy, man. With him, you always have a chance. Let me just put it this way.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. So it's interesting because you're right in the sense like I feel like people are discussing more about Group F, Group H, but I feel like Group B might be the real tough one because this is a group, as you said, is the highest FIFA rankings. All the nations, none of them really seem. They're all kind of like. I know England's kind of like the top one, but even England haven't really like. I feel like all these nations haven't really shown into the big international stage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
That's why I think it's up for grabs, and I guess it's kind of harsh to say just basing England off their last Nations League games, but they were extra bad in these past Nations League games. That's why I'm kind of judging them a little harsh, because if they weren't really even showing flashes of anything good, they were really just in attack.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Would you say this is the ideal group for Iran, in your personal opinion?
no, because I feel like, in my opinion, not just because this is Iran's group, I do think this is the group of death. And they were in the group of death last
Oh yes.
World Cup.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, they can't really catch a break. But how some of our players have progressed since the last World Cup, a lot of our fan base has high expectations this time. At least for the first time, get into the round of 16. But seeing as how everything's playing out, I'm not like I was a lot more confident about going through like 6 months ago. But now it's like things are getting a little messy.
Yeah. Which group would you say is harder, like this one or 2018?
Oh, well, yeah, 2018, obviously, because that had France, Portugal, and Morocco, who in 2018, Morocco was probably, I don't know if you remember too many of the games for that game, but footballing-wise, I think Morocco was the best team in that group. Even though they finished fourth place, those guys played the best football in the group, so that was a much harder group.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I remember they gave Spain and Portugal very tough
times.
They
outplayed Spain. Like, they played them off the court.
Oh yeah, Spain got very lucky in the end. I think VAR saved them in the end.
Yeah, I remember there was the VAR controversy at the end, and the Morocco players were protesting.
Yeah, that was a crazy group, and then Portugal, man, you guys almost knocked out Portugal.
Yeah, no, that was a painful day, man. We should have had 2 penalties. Ronaldo should have been sent off. And then obviously Quaresma, who was ghosting the whole game, or the whole tournament really, and he shows up with the most Quaresma goal, Trivela, from just a crazy angle edge of the box. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was the story of the tournament.
Yeah, man, it's that was definitely hopefully it's not as painful as last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and as an American here, because obviously you guys know I support the USA. This is surprisingly enough, I actually got my dream draw somewhat right. And that obviously I know this group is very difficult, but I think this will give us a good reality check for the USA, because for me, for this World Cup, I just want to see the USA be competitive. I don't even expect us to get second, because I know this group is tough. And, I just want to see us to be competitive football, because I know for a fact that this USA team, it's more of like just vibes and just to see, it's more like the foundation for 2026, because I know that this USA team is not that great yet. And let's be real, we struggle in the qualifiers, and, we barely qualify for the World Cup, and,
it's very young. It's still very young.
Yeah, very young as well, and it's kind of sad that we barely qualified due to goal difference, and I just find that if we just scrape through, we're probably not going to do so well in this World Cup. That said, though, anything can happen, because some nations have not done so well in the qualifiers, but do exceedingly well in the World Cup. Like I look at, I'm trying to think of a good example, like Croatia. They went to the playoffs in the UEFA, but they still reached the World Cup final last edition, I think. And then Mexico, they qualified through the playoffs in 2014, but they made it all the way to round of 16. You could argue they were somewhat robbed against Netherlands,
Yeah, no penal.
Yeah, so like I said, man, qualifiers in the World Cup it's very different, So as I said, so what's your honest expectation for as an Iran fan? Like, do you expect to qualify through, or like, are you kind of like me, just to see the team be competitive and just put out the best performance you can?
Honestly, I think Iran is still in the stage where most fans are happy with seeing the team be competitive. Like most nations that are kind of developing and their football programs are growing, Iran, more and more, we have more and more players traveling to Europe and being signed to European teams. So really, I would expect us, with the quality we have going forward at least, to go through to the round of 16, but really for me, as long as we're competitive, as long as it's not 2014 we were kind of competitive too, like we almost beat Argentina, but as long as we don't go there and just get washed by England, and I think that's a key game because Iran plays England first.
Oh yeah.
And I think if we go get smashed by England. And I can tell you, Iranians by nature are kind of drama queens. So if we go and get smashed by England, our whole fan base is gonna go crazy. They're gonna panic, and I just think it will go all tumbling down from there, where we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot historically. So yeah, my expectations are to go to the round of 16. I think we have Taremi, who was arguably the best player in Portugal last season. Asmoon, who just signed for Leverkusen and was being integrated into the team and playing well. I think we have the quality to do so. It's just a group draw. This is a very toss-up group, so I would expect round 16, but as long as like we get a win, like be competitive. Like I think, yeah, just be competitive, man. Like don't go over there. Like don't be Panama at the last World Cup where they lost like each game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was their first World Cup, so let's not be.
It was their first, yeah, I know. Like don't be, yeah, exactly. And it's not our first World Cup, so like put a good showing. You know what I mean? Like make us proud.
Yeah, it's interesting because it always feels like Iran's always been the nearly team. Like you always been so close to make it the round of 16, but just so far away. Yeah, 2014, 2018. It always seems like you guys have been getting tough groups, man.
Yeah.
Which is very unfortunate. So let's look at the schedule real quick, and I want to hear your thoughts. So obviously, you guys would play England first, as you mentioned, and then you had the Wales game, and then you actually have the USA as the final game of the group. So, what's your thoughts there? Do you like the schedule?
I would have preferred. I didn't. They're kind of like a massive pro and a massive con to England being the first game. Because if you go and get a draw or a win against England, I think that's just a huge boost for any of like these small nations to do that. That would give the players a lot of confidence. But then there's the other side of the coin is if we watch, because England, people like control England and call them England. Like now they have a squad with like immense attacking talent. And they can easily beat any team, in my opinion, if everything goes right. So there's two sides of the coin. So I would have preferred England last game, and then like maybe USA or Wales the first game. But yeah, I just think run for the schedule. I think that England game will be really key. Because I don't know if you remember the 2018 World Cup, like a shift mid game for these because they were kind of in the mindset of, we have to 10 players in order to compete with you guys. And as we grow into the game, we realize we're going toe to toe with Portugal, and for Portugal game. And then against Spain, once they went down and they just went gung ho, they dominated, and then they struck a goal. But yeah, I mean, like we're gonna have to play England at some point in the group, so I think if they could just, that would really be a good tone setter for us to have a strong performance against England. And also the thing is, since it's Qatar, I would expect us to have a sizable amount of Iranian fans in the stadiums to, keep the team on too, because it's closer to Iran. It's not in like Iraq or Brazil. It's easier to travel. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I think if things go right, I think it would be a really interesting, Iran and USA play each other for a round of 16 spot, like for second place. That would be a crazy and a really intense match.
Oh yeah, I would be stressing out, man, because I mean, as a USA fan, man, that Iran game last is going to be interesting. Because I kind of see your mindset, though, because if you guys do get smashed by England, that's going to be really difficult for you guys to bounce back, play against Wales, and your goal difference will be really bad as well, and it could really be bad. But as you said, though, if you guys do miraculously, let's say, get a draw, it really opens a possibility, So, yeah, like I said, man, this is a really tough group, as I said, and it's not a straightforward group. I think this group will be very competitive, and I don't expect a lot of goals in this group, in my opinion. I think this could be a very low-scoring group.
Yeah. That's a good point, because I think USA plays football, but England in nature has played pragmatic on something. Iran by nature pragmatic, and Wales, I wouldn't say, Wales only play pragmatic when they play the bigger teams, but that's kind of like their nature as well. Hit you on the counter and stuff.
Yeah.
it's interesting to see how these private teams, how they learn to take control of the game, because England is a team that controls the game. They prefer to hit you on the counter and defend. Um, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So now that we've discussed about expectations and excitement, I guess we should discuss about the squad now because you guys have a pretty good squad, man. You guys have a pretty good squad.
All right.
Yeah, let's go. Let's start with
Yeah.
let's start with formation. So, what formation you believe is gonna Dragon Skojicic is gonna put?
So Skokic, he hasn't really chose. I guess in qualifying, the most common one was 4-1-4-1, but I don't think. I mean, I think go 4-1-4-1 or 4-2-3-1. I guess let's go 4-2-3-1. Yeah, 4-2-3-1. Because I think 4-2-3-1 and 4-1-4-1, they kind of interchange in the game anyway. If one midfielder goes up, and the other midfielder stays more central, so they kind of interchange.
Okay, so do you want to like wide or narrow?
Wide.
Okay, wide. Yeah, your voice has kind of been a little weird. But I think because some parts I've noticed has been kind of weird, some parts have been kind of normal. So it's
Okay, sorry.
yeah. Try to fix it if you can.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, let's start with the goalkeepers, I guess. This should be, I would say, straightforward.
Actually, well, I saw like how much came in here. You had Ovid, but I think, I don't know if the Algeria game, Abidal was terrible, and I think Beranvan is actually the guy from the last World Cup. I think he will be the starting goalie. I think he just has that World Cup experience, and he tends to perform. He's kind of like Memo Ochoa. Maybe at club level, like he gets slandered for his abilities. But when he puts on the national team shirt, he tends to perform. So I think it's actually Beranvan.
Okay, let me just go and just search the name real quick. Let me see if I can find. So he played in the last World Cup, right?
Yeah, he was our goalie last World Cup.
Okay. So let me see if I can find. So Alariza.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, obviously I don't really know these names that well, but oh wow, he plays for Boa Vista.
Yeah, there is.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
Wow,
actually, crazy. I think he just transferred back to Iran.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah.
So he did play at Boa Vista. Okay, that's
yeah. He was in Portugal for a bit.
Okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, I remember. I think didn't he save Ronaldo's penalty? I think.
Yeah, he saved Ronaldo's penalty.
Wow. Yeah, that must be a historic moment, man.
Yeah, everyone's gonna remember that in Iran. We saved Ronaldo's penalty.
Yeah, man. Crazy, man. So who do you think the backup keeper is gonna be?
It's Abidzada, the guy you had on the screen before recording.
Yeah.
He plays for Paris Police in the Persian Gulf.
Yeah. And then I see on the squad list it says Hussein Hosseini. I'm probably butchering the name.
As another goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like typically teams take 3 goalies to a tournament, so I don't know much about him. I only know more about Beran because I can't really watch too much Persian Gulf Pro soccer in the U.S. because no one streams in the U.S. No one cares about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable. But like I said, 3 keepers usually the norm, and obviously,
yeah.
Usually you don't get to the third choice. Usually.
Yeah.
So it's just mainly just there for emergency thing,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but yeah. Anyways, very good goalkeeper, man. And anyways, let's move to this. Let's move to the fullbacks, I guess.
Okay. So fullbacks, right back, I expect it to be Moharami. He plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Recently, he's been basically the nailed-on starting right back, and I think rightfully so. He's got the experience. Like Zagreb is a decent team to play for, so he has experience at a decent level, and I think he's nailed that spot down.
Yeah, they're like I think they're like one of the best Croatian teams. I think.
Yeah, I think they are the best because they're the only one I ever seen in Europe.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, who's gonna be the backup position for the right back?
Right back. So we have a bunch of people that could play. We got a bunch of versatile players. We have Hodge Safi, but really the main backup right back is Milad Mohammadi. He plays at AEK Athens. I don't know if you remember it's kind of like a gif or like a funny gif. He was the guy that tried the front flip throw in against Spain. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, the guy who tried the front flip throw in. Yeah, that's him. He'll probably be our backup right back.
Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even know. So, wow. Thank you for letting me know, man, because like I do remember that. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move to the center backs now, I guess. Actually, should we do left back? Let's do left back.
Yeah,
Guys.
left back.
Let's get the fullbacks out of the way.
Yeah, so left back, it's most likely going to be. I think Mohamed he could be also a backup left back, but our starting left back is where is he? Oh yeah, Umid Nuraf Khan. He plays in the Persian Gulf League too, and recently it's spelled Noora. If you want to search it up in there. Noora Fkan.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure I spell this right.
Yeah, no, that's good. Nur, yeah, I guess he's not popping up on there because
man,
he doesn't really play it. He just plays in Iran's league, but it's Nuraf Khan.
Yeah, let me just write this down for the viewers, so if you guys try to figure this out. So we'll just write the players that are not on there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Persian Gulf.
And then we have a bunch of, like, for backup left back, Mohammadi, like I mentioned before, our backup right back, he could play there. We have Ehsan Hajsafi, who is one of our veteran players. He plays there often, but I think, when we want to make this transition and get rid of some of the old heads. He's 25 years old. He's relatively young, so I think he will be our left back.
Yeah, that's interesting. So. Let's move to the center backs, I guess, now.
Yeah. So, center backs, I think one of the nailed-on starters is Majid Hosseini. He plays in the Turkish league for... Man, I always butcher this team's name. He plays in the Turkish league for Kayserispor.
Kayserispor.
Yeah. And then the other center back is one of our older center backs. He's one of the squad veterans. Is Puralaganji. Do you want me to spell it out for you?
Yeah.
So, Poura.
Wait, can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Yeah, Poura.
Poura.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So I expect those two to be our two starting center backs. I think Hosseini is kind of like the younger center back. He's 25 years old, and Puralaganji is 30 years old. So he's kind of like Puralaganji will be the defensive leader back there. He was playing in the last World Cup as well, so he's got the experience from the last World Cup. So yeah, and I think that's something you'll notice in this Iran squad. I feel like there's a good blend of players that have World Cup experience from the last World Cup and players that have excelled and started playing in Europe.
Yeah. You need like a good balance of youth and old players.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's very interesting. So who do you think the backup player is going to be for center backs?
So center back backup player. Nuraf Khan, the left back, he's often played as a backup center back for the Iran team. So again, a lot of players we have a lot of versatile players that switch from different positions. We also have we have a younger guy named Kanani. He's like a young center back coming up. I wouldn't expect him to play maybe in like an emergency because he is young, but he's had strong performances. So it's either Nuraf Khan, the left back that I mentioned before, and a guy named Kanani.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's interesting because I remember defense is very important because you guys were defensively pretty good in the 2018 World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, let's move to the midfield now. Let's do the CDMs, I guess now.
Yeah. So our first CDM is Eza Tolahi. He's relatively young. He's 25 years old. You probably need me to spell it. So it's Eza, Eza.
Eza.
T-O.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah.
Wow, I love the players in those.
Yeah. And then Ezatolahi, and then the next to him is most likely Nooralahi. So Noor
Oh, sorry.
Noor. No, Noor.
Wait. Can you?
Yeah, two O's, two
Oh,
O's.
two
Yeah.
O's. So two O's. Okay.
Yeah, two O's. ROLLAHI.
Oh, it says on my it says on FootMob it's NOUR.
Oh, is it you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm on. I use One Football. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. That sometimes there's
Yeah.
differences.
Yeah, I use One Football too. It's just I like FootMob better personally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool. But
Yeah.
I guess he's not on the things.
No, he's not popping up, so you can put it on the other one.
Yeah. We'll just put on the other list.
Yeah, so with this midfield duo, Nooralahi is kind of like the center back partnership. He's a little bit more experienced. He's 29 years old. And then Ezatolahi is one of our younger guys at 25 years old. We've got some other guys. Nooraf Khan, our left back, he's played in the middle sometimes. We have Ehsan Hajsafi, one of our veteran players that plays midfield a lot. He's very versatile. We have Karim Ansarifard, who was at Olympiacos for a while, but he plays midfield often for the team. But I think those two, I would expect to start at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of European based players. I feel like many more than the average person you would know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as Iran is at the point where they're trying to make that step of not just being the team that, like you said, is almost there. They're trying to make that step, and they've kind of done that by pushing a lot of their homegrown players to go to Europe. I think Portugal has quite a bit of Iranian players, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the other Asian teams, and I'm looking at like nations like Saudi Arabia, and the other nations, like every other one of their players is like local, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'd say Japan and South Korea have quite a bit of European players too. Yeah. Not as much as maybe they used to. Like Japan used to have Kagawa and all those guys. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to the Cam, I guess.
So yeah, Cam is weird because I think Sardar Azmoun should be playing as our attacking mid. When he made the move to Leverkusen was utilizing him as an attacking mid. In the absence of Florian Wirtz got an ACL injury, and he has very, very good link-up play. He sees his teammates around him well. The spelling for that is AZMOUN.
Wait, how is Azmoun not here? What the heck?
Maybe try his first name for Sardar, SAR. Sardar. Okay, wow, I guess.
Wow, this is sad. You should know this guy. Yeah, sorry, Azmoun. I haven't heard about him, man.
But yeah, Azmoun, yeah, I think he should be utilized as the attacking mid. I think Skokic might utilize him that way. He's been playing striker, but he hasn't been making a big impact at striker. He's played striker, and he's often linked up really well with his teammates, but he just seems to be missing when he puts that Iranian shirt, like the killer touch to finish the game. So I would expect him to be more involved in the link-up play and building attacks.
Yeah. So, yeah, who do you think the backup Cam is going to be?
The backup Cam, it's tough. We have this young kid in the Iranian Gulf Pro League. The thing is with this Iranian team, there's kind of like a core group of 15 players, and then there's some of them that are very versatile. Like Nooralahi, the other CM that's not listed on the XI right here, he often plays much more further forward too for Iran. We also have people like Vahid Amiri that also can play in that position. So we've also got a couple backups too.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at One Football. There's another European-based player that I never even heard of until now. His name is Samon Godes.
Yeah, exactly. He was going to be the striker. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
I guess he could play. He plays for Brentford. Yeah.
He plays that. It says his primary position is attacking midfielder.
Yeah, kind of, but I think I think Azmoun is much stronger than him in that area, and I think Godos would be a good because I don't think our goals will be coming specifically from striker. So I think what you'll see in the World Cup is Azmoun and Godos. Maybe that could even be switched around, Azmoun at striker. Maybe that's why Azmoun is not showing up on attacking mid. Maybe he's showing up on striker if you search him up. Okay, no. I guess not. But
Well, there might be some accent mark.
There probably is, huh? But what I expect Iran's goals to really come from the two players I'll mention at left and right mid. And what you'll see a lot is a lot of link-up play and play being facilitated through our attacking mid and striker, whether that be Godos and Azmoun or Azmoun with Vahid Amiri or Nuralahi with Godos. It'll be interchanged, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's move it on. I guess we should move to the forwards now.
Yeah. So, attacking mid. So, left mid. This is where left mid. Now, he's a striker, but I think because we have so many strikers or central players, he will be shifted out to the left. It's Mehdi Taremi for Porto. I don't know if he'll show up on left. Oh, yeah, there he is. Cool. So it says striker CF, but he also often plays on the left for Porto. And he's basically going into this World Cup like he's kind of our guy. He had, you could say Darwin Núñez was the best player in Liga NOS last season, Luis Diaz before he left. But Mehdi Taremi was one of the standouts in Liga NOS. I think he had 12 goals, 8 assists. He constantly performs for the national team. He was the guy that missed the last minute chance against Portugal, unfortunately. But ever since that moment, he's constantly took his game up every season. So he's going to be he's really like our star player.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did maybe kind of redeem himself against, Juventus.
Yeah. And he got the Champions League goal this season. Not this past season, but the season before with the bicycle kick against Chelsea.
Yeah, that was a crazy goal, man. Yeah, Taremi, man, what a player, man.
Yeah.
So what are the backup for left mid?
Backup left mid? My online notes are not refreshing right now. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi, but shoot, it's not. Maybe we could go. We could go to right mid. We could go to right mid, and then I'll kind of see if this will refresh, and then I could give you the backups.
Okay.
Yeah. So right mid is Alireza Jahanbakhsh.
There we go.
Yeah, he's at Feyenoord right now. Yeah. So as I said, I think our main goal threats will be Taremi and Jahanbakhsh, because Jahanbakhsh is a guy that really likes to shoot. He'll cut in from the right side. I'm going to take a shot on his left. He's got a dangerous left foot. He makes very good runs into the box on crosses. So you can expect a lot of our left back, Nur Afkan, or Taremi putting in balls for him. So yeah, Taremi and Jahanbakhsh will be Iran's main goal threats at the World Cup.
Yeah, do you have let's go to striker and then we'll talk about backup positions, hopefully when your Wi-Fi is back.
Yeah. So striker is Godos. I would expect Godos to play striker. I think for Iran, if they want to win, be successful in the group, I know a lot of these teams are pragmatic, but you're gonna have to score. And Iran's scoring at World Cups has been pretty poor. They only scored 3 goals in between 2014 and 2018.
Wow.
And one of those was an own goal in the what's it called? One of them was an own goal
against Morocco.
In the Morocco game. Yeah, in the Morocco game. So I think the key for Iran is compact tightly, and we really got to make use of what I'd say is our most attacking rich side that we've had in a very long time.
Yeah, that's a pretty good team, man. So let me see. So is your Wi-Fi back for the backup players? Because I got it from my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's just quickly discuss.
Yeah, so a backup attacking mid is Ali Golizade. He plays for Sporting Charleroi in Belgium, in the Belgium league. That's kind of a backup attacking mid. A backup, he can be right mid or left mid, right wing, left wing. And a backup for those positions is Alayar Sayed Manesh. He plays for Hull City. He just transferred there. And he was doing good work for Hull. I watched him this game. He's very good on the ball. He's a very strong dribbler. That's one of some of our backups in those positions. We also have Mehdi Pour. He's that guy from the Persian Pro League. He's kind of like a veteran player. He plays for Esteghlal, the champions of Iran right now. We have people like Milad Sarlaf, but really, I don't think you will see many of those players. I think Stokic has main guys that mostly play in Europe, he'll be trying to maximize them and their performance.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because that whole City player we are just talking about, actually, he's really versatile. He can play like, let me see, what is it? He can play as a right winger, plays a striker, plays a center forward, central midfield, right midfield, left winger. He's very impressive.
Which is a good player to have at the World Cup. Like a player, it's always good to have a player that could fill in anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Iran, man. I'm definitely looking forward to this Iran team, and obviously, I know we're gonna be against them, but I would like to see Iran advance. Like personally, I mean, obviously, I wanted the USA to advance too, but I would just be a great story for Iran.
Yeah, I do. I want USA and Iran. It would be so nice to see the English fans treated with another group stage exit.
Oh, that'd be the ideal thing.
Yeah, but their team is pretty strong, so. Even though it is topsy-turvy in this group, in my opinion, I feel like still most people will expect England to go through. But yeah.
Yeah, man, and yeah, Iran, man. It's interesting because, and let me ask you this one quick question before we head off: are you guys the best team in Asia?
Are we the best team in Asia?
I mean, what's your opinion? I want to know.
I feel like. Even though the rankings say we are, I think Iran and South Korea are the two best. I think Japan is kind of in a rebuilding stage right now.
Yeah.
They had a lot of key veteran players retire. People like Kagawa, and then they have Minamino, who's kind of like leading that rebuild for Japan right now. Minamino and Takafusa Kubo. Those guys are kind of leading Japan. But I think I'd say it's Iran and South Korea, and I'd say they're pretty even. Because Iran and South Korea, that's kind of like the rivalry in Asia over the past couple of years. They tend to be in really close games. So the rankings say Iran is the best team in Asia, but really, I don't think there's much that separates Iran.
Yeah, it was really close. I'm looking at the group right now. You guys only topped the group by 2 points, and that was one more victory.
Yeah. So, South Korea was pushing us, yeah.
Yeah, it's a close. As I said, I these Asian Cup qualifiers, man. At least the top two is really close. And as an Asian, because I have Asian background too. My parents are from Bangladesh, and unfortunately, Bangladesh is pretty bad at football. So
yeah, they're not the greatest.
Yeah, we're not really good at that. But hey, we're at least good at cricket, so it's better at something.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and as an Asian, I want to see some Asian nations progress. Obviously, I know it's kind of difficult, but it would be nice if we can get like one or two Asian nations round of 16, especially two. Last World Cup we had one, I think. So it'd be nice if we can get two.
Yeah, I think it was just Japan.
Yeah, Japan was the only one last World Cup.
Yeah, but I think there's 5 Asian teams though. This one there's Qatar.
There's actually 6.
6?
Yeah, because Australia qualified. Remember?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good progress though. I have 6 Asian teams at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I fully expected Peru to beat Australia. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think many of us did, man.
Yeah, and it could have been 7 if New Zealand didn't screw it up. So,
man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, the chances of Asia, man, we have there's the odds are greater, significantly greater, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully some Asian teams could show up.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, another thing we're not even talking about. The World Cup is in Asia. And that's actually another thing I want to talk to you about. Do you think that's going to help Iran, and that gives them an advantage over the other 3 nations?
It's tough because there's a reason why it's not happening in the summer. Obviously, because it's sweltering and just dangerously hot in Qatar at that time of year. But really, the weather in Qatar is like spring weather in the winter. So I don't know if it's going to be that much an advantage. Climate-wise, it might be a little bit more humid than normal, but it's going to be like high 70s, low 80s there. So that's why they're doing it in the winter. But one advantage, I kind of mentioned it before, is that, maybe for Iran's games, there will be, a little bit of a home advantage because Iranian fans the travel to Qatar isn't as bad to like a Brazil, like it's been with Brazil, Russia,
Yeah,
Germany, South Africa. So maybe that could be an advantage where we have mostly home crowd. But yeah.
yeah, it's because the Asian Cup is played in the winter time. Well, obviously I know it's not November and December, but it's like January and February usually. And,
yeah, because they can't play it in the summer in these Asian countries. It's too harsh.
Yeah, yeah, and so obviously the European nations there and South America, they're more accustomed to the summer. The African nations and the Asian nations, they really play in the winter. So this can be interesting in this group because, like I said, man, as you said, it's a very topsy-turvy group, and I think this is the real group of death. Like, obviously, people are talking about Group F and Group H. Obviously, those two groups are interesting, but I'd say this one's the trickiest because I don't think any nation's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
especially if England is playing, a lot of people would say England is, but they're just not looking good. And I know it was just a Nations League, but they looked abnormally trash. So I mean, obviously it's not like you could just take England easily. I think even if England show up in subpar form, they still have people like Harry Kane, Sterling, and all these guys. And I think it's still USA, Wales, or Iran are still going to have to play at their absolute best to beat England. But yeah, it's still going to take a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, man. I wish you guys the best of luck. Obviously, I shouldn't really be doing that, but I like to be objective here.
Yeah. I mean, I live in the U.S., so like it wouldn't be too bad to see the U.S. go to the round of 16 and Americans get hyped for the World Cup because they weren't at the. If you remember the 2014 World Cup, there was a lot of hype.
Yeah.
The people were surprisingly into it, and it's only grown a lot more since 2014. So I'm interested to see how our country reacts, to the World Cup. If ESPN shines a big light on it and all that throughout the because I know it's also happening. The NFL starts around that time too, so I'm interested to see how will they prioritize the World Cup coverage? Will they prioritize the NFL coverage?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and you do make a good point because USA was in a really tough group 2014, and I think many people are surprised that USA came second.
Exactly, they got through over Portugal, and Ghana was really strong in that World Cup. They drew Germany in that World Cup. So
yeah, and I think
that was a tough group.
And I think they eliminated the USA the previous World Cup. I think
they did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice revenge.
Yeah, and to be honest, you guys, it was a really competitive game against Belgium in the round of 16.
Yeah, man.
And that was when Tim Howard had his crazy game of 16 saves.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. And yeah, it's crazy, man. And actually, I don't know if I've just realized this. Last World Cup that took place in Asia, USA made the quarterfinals.
Which was 2002.
Yeah.
But that World Cup was skeptical. That World Cup, South Korea, it was sketchy, but I mean, still, it was a good accomplishment for the US.
Yeah, I know it's a very controversial World Cup, so I'm not really too proud of that, but it's
I mean,
still good.
It wasn't rigged for the U.S., so I'm talking about South Korea's, right? That was sketchy, but the USA did their thing and they deserved quarterfinals.
Yeah, it was fair and square, and I think we beat Mexico in the round of 16, and then in the quarterfinals, I think we had against England. No, sorry, not England, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard USA got robbed against Germany. I didn't see that time, obviously, but that's what I heard. At least people said.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Hopefully they. I don't know. I feel like USA. I feel like there's gonna be hype, obviously, for the 2026 World Cup, it being in the U.S. basically for most of the cities. But if the USA have a strong showing, and a lot of kids around here, they're walking around with Pulisic on their backs and stuff. Like there's a lot of kids that actually care. There's a lot of kids that actually care about the team. So if they put up a strong showing, they could, give a lot of people hope and excitement for 4 years' time when these players have matured more, to be actually hyped and actually make a run in their home tournament. So
yeah, man, I'm looking for this World Cup for Iran in particular, and obviously, the Asian Cup is coming around very soon. It's next summer, so obviously, maybe you could come on and we could discuss the Asian Cup together because that's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, man, I think that's gonna be about it. So as I said, guys, Iran, man, one of the teams, like I said, guys, I think it's a sleeper team. Like I said, I think it's a team that you should keep your eyes upon. This is a team that you would. This is a team that can cause you problems. This is a team that will not let you. Like if you're gonna beat them, you're gonna have to really beat them. It's gonna be a difficult because, like I said, a lot of the big nations like Spain, Portugal, and Argentina, they struggled against Iran. They really struggled. You know, and that just says something. You know.
But there is opportunity for absolute disaster for Iran because of the stuff going on in the federation. But
yeah,
I'll keep my hopes up. I'll hope things get sorted.
Yeah, the federation, man, that might be, and that's another thing I didn't even discuss. You know, I don't really like the USA Federation. I'm just gonna say this right now. You know, and obviously I don't think the English fans really like the English Federation. So maybe the Federation could be the reason why this group doesn't go too well. You know?
The battle of the worst federations.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea about Wales Federation, so I can't really comment on that.
They're probably doing well. I mean, they're probably happy that they're going to World Cup. So
yeah. So it's probably decent. So yeah, make sure you guys comment down below. What do you guys think Iran's gonna do in the World Cup? For me, if I had to give an early prediction, I will say for now probably group stage exit. I will say this though, it's gonna be very close. I think this could come down to goal difference potentially. Yeah. And yeah, this could be very tight. And remember how in the last World Cup, you know, in Group H, we had like Japan and like Senegal, right? They had to use the fair play points. Oh man, I wouldn't be surprised that happens here.
yeah. With the pragmatic football that a lot of them tend to play, it's gonna be interesting to see how it.
Oh man, if that happens, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, the only sucky thing is, well, actually, I think you're on Eastern Coast time, but West Coast, I'm gonna be up pretty early for these games. I think Iran versus Wales is at 2 a.m. So yeah, it's not. I'm gonna be a walking zombie during the World Cup, bro.
Oh man, I mean honestly, you know, for this World Cup, for this one, I actually rather be in the Western Coast because it's kind of hard to like wake up for that game because you know you can at least like go back to sleep after like 4 a.m. You know, whereas 7 a.m. you can't really sleep again. You know, it's already daytime. So I'd actually rather be in your position, but obviously time zones for the USA is kind of sucks in general, to be honest.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it is what it is. We just have to live with that, and let's hope this is the only World Cup that's going to happen, and not summertime.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. And also, comment down below what Iran players that we forgot to mention because there probably is some that we forgot to mention.
Yeah, I probably forgot some too because it's hard for me to follow all of the Iranian players because you know I don't always watch the Persian Gulf Pro League and keep up on all of them. So if I forgot any, like. Don't be shy, you know.
We have lives too, man. We can't like always, you know. We have personal lives and we have to do stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
We don't have like time to watch everything, you know. I wish we could, you know, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So, you know, comment down below any players that we missed, and of course, that's gonna be it. So, make sure you guys like this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. And once again, thank you, Hukaj /Puya, for giving your thoughts.
Thanks for having me. Peace out.